chase away. Leave the city behind. We're on our way to find blue skies.
Hey everyone, welcome to Trail Sage, and this week we're talking about cold weather gear. Now I remember when I first started trail running, I had so many questions, especially when the temperatures started getting colder. I was wondering, do I need any special clothes? How do I dress? Do I need special winter shoes? Well, the simple answer is no. I mean, sure, you can get shoes with studs or spend lots of money on ultra high-tech clothing, but the truth is, if you have a decent pair of trail running shoes, that's all you really need to get started. You can get away with a lot of non-specific running gear like jackets, gloves, and hats, which you probably already own. The idea is to slowly acquire quality pieces to your running gear as you progress. Now, obviously, having the right gear can make a huge difference, but I also understand that comes at a big price. So, if you're a beginner, here are my thoughts on 3 essential pieces to start cold weather running. And while I'm not an expert, I have been training in the cold for many years, and these are some of the things that have worked for me. I'll also cover what gear I use, as well as a few tips for staying warm later in the video. So let's jump to it. My number 1 item is socks. Assuming you have a decent pair of trail running shoes, the most important piece of gear is socks. A good pair of wool socks will be much cheaper than a new pair of winter-specific trail running shoes and will have a greater effect on your overall warmth. Using materials like wool or other moisture-wicking fabrics will help you retain heat and evaporate the sweat. If the weather is below 40 degrees, then I'll even pair them with some toe warmers. The next piece of gear is a good long-sleeve thermal compression top. These are different from normal compression tops in that they're much heavier and usually lined with fleece. I love them because they still stretch and fit your body like a regular compression top, but they also breathe well. Used as a base layer, they can be combined with other pieces easily, like jackets, windbreakers, and vests. The last essential item is a buff or a neck gaiter. These are relatively inexpensive and extremely versatile. You can double up the fabric if it's cold, and they stretch easily to cover your ears and even the top of your head. When you get hot, you can just pull it down around your neck or wrap it around your wrist. And because they're lightweight and take up very little space, they're ideal for many situations. Now here's my bonus pick. If you have the money, a good running-specific windbreaker can make a huge difference. Much like a buff, they're extremely versatile, lightweight, and can work in all kinds of temperatures and conditions. If I'm on a longer run, I'll even stuff one in my running pack regardless as backup. So those are my 3 basic pieces I think every trail runner should own. Plus a bonus one if you have some extra cash. So what do I typically wear when I run in the cold? Well, as the thumbnail shows, I typically run in shorts all year round. In fact, I won't wear tights unless the temps dip into the low teens or if it gets windy. I find that once my legs get moving, I really don't seem to get cold. However, if you are someone that gets cold easily or you fall down a lot, consider getting some running tights. If you're on a budget, then some inexpensive yoga pants should do the trick. As for running tops, I always wear my thermal compression shirt if it's under 40 degrees, and I'll usually combine that with an outer layer or jacket. If it's windy or I just need something light, then I'll use a windbreaker. And if the temps dip into the teens or the single digits, then I have a much heavier fitted thermal jacket that I use. Regarding my head, I usually run with a solid panel running hat and for colder days a scully or a knit cap. To keep my hands warm, I have a few different gloves to choose from. Anything from light fall gloves to heavy duty winter gloves, which, if the temperatures get cold enough, I'll put some toe warmers in them too. If there's one thing I don't skimp on, it's socks. For me, a good pair of wool socks is a no-brainer, and they'll last a long time, making them a good investment. For trail running, I usually use socks that come up past my ankles for added warmth and protection. As for shoes, I rely on my Hoka Speed Goats because the lugs give me plenty of traction and the mesh is a little bit thicker. So far, they've been fine for all my runs under 2 hours. If you're just starting out, here are some other accessories that you may want to consider. Headlamps for running early in the morning or even late at night. A good pair of sunglasses to protect your eyes or even help with reflection on snowy days. And if you have sensitive ears, then a good thick headband could do the trick. If you plan on running longer than an hour, then a soft flask is really handy. Waist packs are a great way to carry them, as well as holding phones, gels, and keys. And if you need more storage, then a good running vest could do the trick. So now that we covered the gear, here are some additional tips to help you with cold weather running. If you choose to bring a soft flask, keep it close to your body in something like a waist pack under your jacket. This will keep the water from freezing. On really cold days, I'll also preheat my running shoes and gloves on the heater, or I'll place toe warmers in them while I'm driving to the trailhead. If you do this, leave the sticky backing on them until you're ready to apply them to your socks. Another useful tip is having gloves or mittens with removable fingertips so that you can use your fingers to make adjustments to your wardrobe or to help you operate your phone. Regarding the trails, try and stick to ones that get a lot of foot traffic. Trying to break through fresh snow can be really frustrating and will drain your energy fast. Also, head out early before things start to thaw out. Running in wet shoes and socks will make for an absolutely miserable run. And finally, the best advice that I can leave you is a tip that I got from my buddy Dan a long time ago when he said you should always be a little bit chilly at the start. If you're nice and toasty at the beginning of your run, then you're definitely overdressed. You should be mildly uncomfortable at the start of your run, and I promise in about 10 minutes, you'll be glad that you were. So in conclusion, cold weather running is a lot of trial and error. Layering your clothing will help a lot, and having gear that you can unzip or remove to moderate your body heat will come in handy. Remember, sweat is your worst enemy. And while you don't need running-specific attire to get started, it is worth noting that running gear is designed to fit and breathe better, help you move more efficiently, and typically has more running-specific storage options. Well, that does it for this week's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any suggestions for folks just starting out, leave them in the comments below. If you like the video and you want to see more content like this, feel free to subscribe. Thanks for watching.